All right, here's a little bit of messing around with getting data into Google Sheets in ways that might be fun. Um, so there's the normal stuff you can do, file, new. Um, Wait, no, let's start over. All right, this is a quick conversation about getting stuff into Google Sheets where you can then mess around with it and do some different things. So there's some advantages to it. So there's the normal stuff you can do, like file import, and then you'd be able to, upload CSVs or TSVs or any number of different file formats and kind of import it right into the sheet. So there's that kind of stuff. But there's also a few tricks in here that are worth knowing for different scenarios. For instance, here is import HTML, where we're actually grabbing a table from a Wikipedia page. So we'll open that just for fun. But here's the Wikipedia page, and it has a bunch of tables on it. And so what import HTML lets you do is, see this, it says, give me the URL of the page, give me the type of thing you want to get, and it's table or list, and then give me the number of that item. So right now it's set to 5, but if I change it to 4, bam, now it's going to change what's being imported. I'll change it back to 5. Now that can be nice in certain scenarios, like if there's live data being updated from a particular place and you want to keep track of it without having to kind of continuously re-import it. This is a cool option. Probably not a great option if you just want the data, just copy and paste it in and then go from there, or take this and then do this trick, which is copy, and then you do paste special and paste values only. So that can be a helpful thing to know as well if you don't already. But there are a bunch of different things you can do to get data in, like import data. And this will pull in CSVs or TSVs. And again, it's if that data is changing, this is kind of a nice thing to be able to do. Here I'm pulling in a CSV from a data camp thing on fish. I don't know what it is, but I'm importing it live, and if it changed, it would update here. You can import feeds, Atom, XML, a couple others. Now, this import XML is where things start to get a little more interesting, I think, because what you can do is same deal. You're picking a URL. In this case, I'm picking my Wikipedia contributions page. And then you can use XPath to do a little scraping. Now, I don't love XPath, but for certain things, this is really nice. So you can see if I cut and pasted it, I would get this, which is everything in one cell as it goes down with multiple rows. But if I do my import, what I'm doing is I'm taking a particular ID, mw-content.text, and then selecting the unordered list and every list item in it. And that then gives me this, which is already broken up, which I can then clean up a little bit if I need to or want to. But you can get really exact with that. It's going to work better on, or maybe at all, on HTML pages rather than things that are created via JavaScript. I know there's some struggles with making it work there. But when it does work, it can be super handy. And then finally, we'll look a little bit at some APIs here. So if you've got an API, sometimes it's really handy to be able to log the results of that. Right now, I'm grabbing weather from Vermont via Weather Underground or something like that API. So it can be pretty straightforward. I'll look at the script, and here we go. So you just write a little script. In this case, I'm getting the spreadsheet I'm using and then a particular page, in this case by name, API data. Here's my URL for the data. Let's actually go there and look at it because that's helpful. So here we go. We can see the data. This is JSON. Also, if you're friendly, JSON. But it's just chunks of stuff. And I have a particular plugin in here that helps me see it. So here's what it looks like raw, which is a little bit harder to parse. When it's set up like this, it becomes a lot easier to see, and that's just a browser plugin you can turn on. So we got that data, and we kind of know what it looks like, so we can then use, we fetch, we get it, and then we decide what chunks of that data we want, and then we just append it to the spreadsheet. Now what's cool too is we can go over here to our triggers and we can set things like run this function, time driven, every hour. And that's what's going on. So that's what's giving us this data right here. Now, a couple things you might notice, like this is Unix timestamp data. So I wrote a little function to calculate it into time that humans can read. You know, we can drag it down to have it fill in, or we could add a function in our Google script to have this written automatically, but I'm not going to do that right now. So that's a bunch of stuff on getting data into Google Sheets. I'm going to make another video on messing with that data once you get it in.